Hi, I'm James with Curse, and I'm here with Merv Kwai of... Did I do it?
You got it right.
Yes, with Dragon's Prophet. And we're going to just talk about the game. So I guess my first question, so Dragon's Prophet has a very kind of good, solid, fundamental hold on the conventional MMO, but then it adds the dragon. So can you talk about the dragons just a little bit?
Sure. In Dragon's Prophet, we have hundreds of dragons that the player can ride, capture, train, and fight alongside of. One of the things that we really like about our dragons is they become an extension of your character rather than just a pet that you can control in combat. They evolve as your character levels, they grant the character abilities that they can use, and you can actually equip them with items that you find in the world, and they wear the items like gear, armor sets. So our dragons really kind of have a deeper level as they evolve with the character.
Excellent. That's tremendous. So I am going to be making a couple of videos in the coming weeks about Dragon's Prophet, and one of the videos is tasked with like summarizing the first hour of gameplay of Dragon's Prophet. So can you give me a little taste of what I'm gonna, when I get into the beta, when I get my keys, which should be coming in the email, but the first hour, what players can expect to see, and just the beginning experience.
Sure. One of the things that we're really looking forward to on our official commercial launch on September 18th is we kind of went back to the drawing board a little bit and redesigned the way that the starting hour of gameplay works. Currently we have a tutorial that the user goes through, and it kind of tells you, this is how you capture a dragon, this is what you should do. We kind of moved away from that. You're not forced through the tutorial anymore, and then all of early gameplay has tooltips that kind of give you the idea of what you should be doing. All of our UI menus have that, and that's based off a lot of player feedback. We also had 3 starting zones that the player could choose from, and we streamlined down to 1 starting zone to kind of enhance the social experience of the player. So I encourage you to go through it again, especially after September 18th, because you'll see a little bit of a difference. We also introduced something that's kind of weird. It's a world boss that's in the starting zone, and that kind of gives the concept that higher level players can revisit those lower levels, and it creates more of a social interaction for the lower levels of gameplay.
That's really cool. I like that. I like getting the guys with the cool, awesome gear, the new guys get a little sneak peek of what they're going to get.
Like one of those memory things when you're a new player, you see that guy run past, you're like, I want to be that guy. That sort of super metal. It's awesome.
Speaking of that guy, can we talk a little bit about the end game and what kind of the end game looks like? Both, I guess, let's just focus on PvE right now. If you want to be kind of a PvE raider or, kind of content clearer, team play kind of guy, what is there in Dragon's Prophet for you?
Sure. When we launch on September 18th, we increase our level cap to level 80. We're introducing a new continent called Inertia, and it has 4 dungeons that come with it. One of the end dungeons in that zone, it's basically for 5 players, but it's a highly competitive zone that takes geared and skilled players to go through. So it's similar to the story zones that are at the end of the other zones, but the level of effort that it takes for a group of 5 players, you have to be a really solid kind of geared group to be able to push through that. Now, after launch, we're looking forward to some of our first raid content, which is multi-group high-end objectives. And generally, it's going to be kind of follow the same structure where you progress through a zone, and there's bosses of varying levels of difficulty that your multiple groups can go up against and hopefully succeed, or the other opposite of that, corpse runs, or
Well, failing and screaming is half the fun on Ventrilo.
It is. And learning the fights is always fun.
So can you talk to me a little bit about the narrative of the game? I'm kind of curious how all these dragons fit into the world in a cohesive narrative package.
Sure. So the Dragon's Prophet is set in a world called Eurasia. And Eurasia is a continent that was kind of created by ancient dragons. And there was a great struggle between those dragons, a first and second dragon war, which created a prime antagonist named Kronos. And he's kind of known as a devouring dragon. Whenever he kills another dragon god, he eats it and then kind of gains its abilities. So he's the big bad guy that everybody's fighting against. Now the other good gods are trying to push him back. He's awakening from a slumber, and the good gods are kind of trying to push him back into it. And these good gods have interbred with a lot of different species on Eurasia. That's why you have dragons that are flying, or some that look more like alligators or mammoths. They basically all have dragon lineage in it. And now, as the player, you're the dragon's prophet, trying to unite the dragons and obtain them, kind of use them to push Kronos back into the darkness. And that's generally the kind of concept of the game.
Tremendous. And it's going to be free to play?
It is free to play, yep. We're in open beta right now, and the open beta is going to carry over into launch. So we're not wiping any characters that have been through this phase of the beta, and our official launch is on the 18th.
So where can people go to download that and play it?
You can download the game on dragonsprofitthegame.com, and it's free to play. And yeah, I encourage you to do so.
Get on it, guys. All right, well, thank you very much. Can't wait to check it out.
Enjoy your show.
All right.